Well, let's dive into the start of the news today and what will definitely impact into game one, let's say first and foremost on that news. And that is that the Denver Broncos have announced their week one starter. It is not going to be Jared Stitham. Bo Nix, who is having a marvelous preseason run now through his first few games there with Denver. You watch Sean Payton and he can't stop gushing about him. He's got the rosy cheeks and he's just giddy in his chair as he's speaking about him. Oh, he loves himself some Bo Nix. So Nix is going to be coming into Seattle for his first start of his pro career, the first rookie for the Denver Broncos to start at quarterback since John Elway. It has been a while. And spoiler alert, I'm going to be giving you guys a little bit of a breakdown over about the last 4 or 5 years or so and showing you some of the recent performances of those rookie quarterbacks in their first game. I think there might be some takeaways from that, but I will be getting to that in just a moment. So we've got a little bit of news there that Nix will indeed be your starter. Mike Macdonald's defense going up against a rookie. I'm not saying that he's digging his napkin into his shirt already. I'm not saying he's already got the fork and knife in hand, okay? But this defense is not the most funnest of defenses to go up against if you're a rookie quarterback. It can be a bit of a handful. And Peyton's going to have a lot of scripted stuff in there for Nix, but heavily scripted stuff even isn't necessarily the thing that will save you in this against this defense. And one could say this is going to be a tough matchup for Nix right out the gate, but he's played so well. Made it so hard for Peyton just to not deny the fact that I got to let this guy have this role, and we'll see what Mike Macdonald might have cooked up for him come week one. Bo Nix is going to be starting here week one, and he's got a great offensive mind in Sean Payton to help him guide through, but he's going on the road, first start. And I thought it might be fun to go in and take a little bit of a quick look here at some of the quarterbacks recently in their first starts and how they've done, and maybe to see if there is a general theme that we might be able to find, something that maybe repeats over and over a little bit. Now, Daniel Jones made his debut in a week 3 performance against the Buccaneers, and he did really well. Daniel freaking Jones, 23 of 36, 336 yards, 2 touchdowns. He led a remarkable comeback from an 18-point halftime deficit, and he was the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Dwayne Haskins, first start, Washington Commanders, 15 to 22, 144 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 3 carries, 14 yards, lost 24-9. Joe Burrow, 23 of 36, 193 yards, 8 carries, 46 yards. He lost 16-13, or they lost 16-13. Demonstrated composure. Justin Herbert had a magical start coming off the bench after that one guy had like the shot of they got the shot in the lung or something. He had to like last minute start. 22 of 33, 311 yards, 4 carries, 18 yards. They did lose 23-20. Tua, his first start, 12 of 22, 93 yards, a whopping 93 yards. The Dolphins were able to win that game 28-17, though not a lot by what he seemed to be doing. Trevor Lawrence, 28 of 51, 332 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. The Jaguars lost that game 37-21, though. Zach Wilson, his first game, 20 of 37, 258 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Jets lost 19-14 in that one. Mac Jones was 29 of 39 for 281 yards and 1 touchdown. The Patriots lost 17-16. Kenny Pickett with his week 4 debut against the New York Jets was 10 of 13, 120 yards, and the Steelers lost 24-20 in that game. He entered the second half. That should be the notable part on that one. Desmond Ridder started week 15 against the New Orleans Saints. He was 13 of 26 and 97 yards. Falcons lost that game 21-18. We've got Brock Purdy with against the Miami Dolphins, 25 of 37, 210 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick, where the Niners did win that game 33-17. Bryce Young last year, first game of the season, 20 of 38, 146 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. The Panthers lost. C.J. Stroud with the Texans last year, going up against that Ravens defense. Not too bad, considering for his first start and having to against Mike Macdonald. I mean, you want a little bit of an idea of like Macdonald's defense. Here you go against a rookie. 28 of 44, 242 yards, 0 touchdowns, 4 carries, 20 yards. And it's a decent game overall for any quarterback out there. Be like, well, it's not a horrible game. But of course, for C.J. Stroud last year, that was probably one of his more underwhelming kind of performances. And understandable. It's your first start. So they were the Ravens to win that game. C.J. Stroud did not play particularly good. And as I said at the top of the show, this defense is not the funnest of defenses to have to play for your rookie quarterback. By the way it's structured, by how confusing it is, by how hard it is to read anything for certain. The last guy with Anthony Richardson, who last year in his first start went 24 of 37, 223 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and the Colts lost 31-21. So I went back to 2019 to take a look at these numbers with these QBs to see where they're at for recent data. We can do a deeper dive on this as we're kind of leading up to the season. Maybe put a spreadsheet together or something. There would be some of these numbers you can do to really look into. But you do see that most of these games for these rookie quarterbacks are going to be losses. Is there a lot more to the story than just simply it being that they're rookies? For instance, a lot of these rookie quarterbacks are going to teams that aren't particularly good. How much should that factor into it? Probably a heavy amount. But when you look at the surface of it, Nix coming into Lumen Field, rookie game, that crowd's going to be amped up to the nines, no doubt about it, with a new head coach. And you got a pretty strong team in Seattle that they're going to have to face off against. It's going to be a pretty tough environment for him. Kid seems to be prepared and ready. He's having a hell of a preseason, but at least recent history is telling us that those rookie quarterbacks in the first starts tend to have a little bit of a long day more often than not. And if not a long day as far as passing goes, that they do on the bottom line, the way it all kind of ends up shaking out is the way these games do tend to play out with rookies. I would say, what did it seem like there? 7 out of 10 times, it's going to be probably a loss for the rookie quarterback. We'll see in the upcoming game against Week 1, but interesting data, I thought, nonetheless, to kind of piece through.